Okay, so first off, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This is absolutely amazing to see everyone here. I know I kept saying I was going to be hiding under the tables, but I haven't actually needed to because it's just been the most lovely day. And yeah, so thank you for your support today. Thank you for your support, like with the books, online, with everything. And now I'm going to stop because I'm going to get all emotional. But yeah, it is wonderful having you all here, and you are all just the best possible people. So thank you so much. And I thought that I would share the first scene from the upcoming D.I. Adams book because it is. It's the first scene is based in York, so the book itself isn't, but that seemed like the most appropriate time to start. And I'm trying not to look at Sylvie doing angles.
It's impossible, Kim. I don't know what's going on. We have to start again. Sorry, because it's showing me for some stupid reason.
Okay, are we live? Yeah. Hello, yes, we're live. Hi. But yeah, if you can just hold it at like sort of the right sort of angle. Or maybe just over kind of.
Sorry, I'm a lousy technical
Thank
person.
you.
But yeah, but again, I don't see.
Yeah, but if you just hold, like, rest it on there, maybe. Or like, yeah, and then you'll be able to keep it. There we go. Perfect.
Okay, I'm not
Thank you.
moving. Sorry.
Okay, so the book is called Dales of the Unexpected. Thanks to everyone on Circle who came up with the amazing title very rapidly when I was stuck. And the first chapter is The Pigeons Are Restless. So, Detective Inspector Adams, Jeanette, or sometimes Nettie to her parents, but Adams to everyone else, including her brothers, unless they wanted an unexpected traffic stop, was currently far too close to a troll's armpit, which smelled exactly as one might expect a troll armpit to smell. The troll in question also seemed quite determined to squish her even deeper into that particular area, and while she was laying about wildly with her baton, it seemed to be having about the same effect as a toddler bashing their parents' shins with a rubber sword. Please, she managed in a strangled tone. Stop. The troll just placed his free hand on top of her head, giant fingers tightening, and for one moment she wondered if she was going to suffocate or have her skull crushed first. Then she caught a sound, something like the crunch of an apple skin, and the troll released her with a howl that set her staggering, not sure whether to cover her ears or soothe her neck, which was going to have troll finger-sized bruises on the back of it by tomorrow. The troll shrieked again, stumbling in a frantic circle, while a large, dreadlocked grey dog bounced away with scraps of the troll's jeans hanging from his teeth. What the hell is that? A brawny man with small horns protruding from his forehead demanded, pointing at the dog. Who let the bloody hellhound in? Adams wiped her face with her forearm, as if that might rid her of the stench of unwashed troll armpit, and shouted a little hoarsely, D.I. Adams, North Yorkshire Police. Everyone step away from the tables now. There was a moment's pause, and she wondered which way this was going to go. Strange little underground clubs were dicey enough territory when they were human. Here she could see more wings, horns, and tails than she could regular human appendages, and the troll bouncer who'd just rumbled her and tried to remove her head wasn't even the biggest creature in the room. She probably should have brought back up, but the only other police officer she could have said, hey, I'm off to bust a fairy-run gambling racket too, was currently conducting his own investigation into missing prize-winning koi, so she was on her own. Well, other than the dog, of course. Dandy turned back to the room, swelling in size from his preferred golden retriever proportions to something more bear-like, a growl rumbling at the back of his throat. LED red eyes gleamed behind his hair, and Adams tapped her baton against her leg. Away from the tables, she repeated. Don't make me ask again. The moment hung in the balance, waiting to see which way the crowd would tip. Then a skinny, sharp-featured individual jumped to his feet, knocking his chair over, and pointed wildly at a tall, angular fairy with slightly disturbing lavender eyes. You rigged the game, he shouted. I should have won. My games are not rigged, the fairy said, her voice smooth with threat. Be careful who you're casting accusations at, Eddie. I've been talking, Eddie said, waving at the room in general. Everyone always loses. Always. That's why it's called gambling. One never knows the outcome. Eddie, sit down, Adams said sharply, and the fairy looked at her, then back at the small man. You brought the sodding detective in? You little git. She lunged over the table, grabbing Eddie by the front of his jumper, and a troll crashed through the door from the very dubious Luz, throwing it open so hard it shattered against the wall. "Hands off my Eddie," he bellowed, charging toward the ferry. "Everyone calm down," Adams shouted, without much hope, and ran for the table as the club exploded into chaos. She'd only taken a couple of strides when someone hit the lights, plunging the whole place into darkness, and the next moment the sprinklers went off. Or she hoped it was sprinklers, although she somehow doubted the damp, grimy cellar tucked deep into the flood-prone underground tunnels of York was in any way up to code. There was no time to worry about it, though, and she simply concentrated on keeping her feet as the crowd surged around her, heading for the one exit. She could hear Eddie yelling more accusations at the ferry, and Morris, the large troll, shouting, "Eddie, love, calm down!" She headed in that direction, one hand still clutching the baton and the other digging in her pocket to find her keys and the duck key ring attached to it. She pulled it out, but before she could squeeze its wings to light it up, sharp claws latched onto her arm and another set wrapped around her throat. She reacted fast, not thinking about it, simply driving one elbow back into her assailant's belly, hearing them grunt as their grip relaxed. She spun, grabbing for them, and snagged an arm as she raised the baton. They hissed at her in the dark, furious and toothy. "Damned police." "Lady L?" she asked. That was the name Eddie had given her for the fairy who ran the club, the one with the disconcerting eyes. "I'm arresting you on suspicion of receiving stolen goods." "Give over, copper. You can't hold me. You know it doesn't work that way." "It should," she snapped, "and I'll bloody well try. Got to put a dent in your business being dragged off by the police, doesn't it?" "I'll put in some calls of my own. See you booted out. Already got a mental health break on your records, don't you? And I bet your colleagues ask plenty of questions about some of your quirks." Adams could hear the smile in the fairy's voice, but simply said again, "I'm arresting you, ow!" The ow was because someone, either the fairy or an accomplice, unseen in the dark, had buried their teeth in her wrist. Luckily, her jacket mostly protected her, but she could still feel the pressure of the bite grinding into her tendons. Bloody hell. "Let go, detective, you've no chance." Lady L's voice was by her ear now, so she wasn't the one gnawing on Adam's arm, and Adams wondered what or who was, and if she was going to need tetanus shots, or possibly rabies. Instead of answering, she wrenched her arm away, skin tearing on her attacker's teeth, and managed to grab one of Lady L's wings instead. "This place doesn't stop with stolen goods, does it?" she demanded. "What else do you trade? Who are you in contact with in the York Police Department now Jasper's gone? Who are you paying off?" Lady L laughed. "You don't know anything, do you? Poor little southern lamb lost in the north with your dog and your ducky." Adams wanted to tighten her grip on the fairy's wing, wanted to wrench an explanation from her, wanted to force her to reveal who she was really working with, wanted to make her talk, but she couldn't. Or wouldn't, but it was much the same thing. So instead, she simply kept her grip and started again. "Lady L, I'm arresting you on suspicion." "Oh, for..." The last was lost as someone hit her hard, knocking her off her feet and slamming her to the stone floor. She took the fairy with her, Lady L shouting, "For the God's sake, get her off me!" Adams tried to keep her grip, but something bit her leg, making her yelp. Then someone, she suspected the bouncer troll, grabbed the back of her jacket and hefted her bodily off the floor while Lady L yelled, Mind my wings, you cretin." Dandy was barking somewhere while tables and furniture splintered under falling bodies and glass shattered, and Adams twisted in the troll's grip, trying to tear herself loose. Long, clawed fingers grabbed her face, and Lady L said in that cool, smooth voice, "You're out of your depth, little human. Leave it alone. Leave all of it alone." "What?" Adams managed. "Leave what alone?" "Walk away." A little light had crept in from somewhere, and Adams could see the fairy's pale eyes glittering, her face so close she could have kissed those thin, tooth-scarred lips. "You got your parents back. Sit down, shut up, and let things go. It's the best choice." Adams glared at her. "You mean I should leave your dodgy club here alone, or your connections to the York police? Which one?" "All of it," Lady L said, and actually did kiss her on the forehead, chill and hard. "York and Leeds and London too. Little humans shouldn't meddle. It gets them stolen off to Fairy to dance for 1,000 years. Adam's stomach was abruptly icy. London? But aloud she just said, "Oh, how did that stealing away thing go for your mate Velma Duskthorn when he tried it on my parents?" Lady L released her, stepping back into the shadows. "Get rid of her, Grub," she said. "We'll be doing her a favour as much as anyone else." The troll grunted, tucking Adams back under his armpit to drag her away. "Please," she managed, wriggling in his grip. "Put me down, Grub. You don't want to do this." "I put you down in ooze," he said cheerfully. "In ooze?" Ribberoos, lots of currants, bitey stuff too. They like you. Dandy, Adams yelled, because it was December and she did not want to be dumped in the river, oozing and full of bitey stuff or not. Dandy heel. The room was emptying, she thought, the fighting a little less widespread, but it was still desperately dark, just shadowy glimpses of movement visible here and there as people used lighters and watches to find their way out. And Grub opened a heavy wooden door with one hand, releasing the scent of mud and rotting timber. Adams booted him a couple of times, gaining nothing but a sore toe. Then he said, "Oopsie daisy," and hefted her straight through the door. Adams braced herself for impact onto a stone floor, but instead she was in free fall for one fractured, horrified moment of total darkness before teeth snagged her jacket and a heavy dreadlocked body collided with hers, catapulting her back through the door and into Grub. It was like hitting a solid wall, and she bounced off with a breathless huff, but before she could recover, someone grabbed her and set her on her feet as neatly as if she were a child. "Off we go," Morris said. "Hurry now." "Morris!" Eddie shrieked, and Adams could hear him thrashing in the troll's grip. "Let me go! Let me at them!" "Morris is bad, troll," Grub grumbled, which was followed by the solid thwack of a troll fist hitting troll flesh. Grub gave a gentle oof, followed by a crash as he hit the floor. "Morris is a very miffed troll," Morris said, and propelled Adams ahead of him towards the door. "Come along, detective, such a mess." Adams found herself stumbling rapidly over an unlit mess of groaning bodies and shattered furniture, pointed straight out of the door and into the damp, cobbled streets of York, where Dandy offered her an empty coffee mug, wagging his tail gently. That had not gone entirely smoothly. And that's the end of the first scene.
Nothing to add today.
Not long. A month most.
It's just.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you again. And yes, a couple of things. There is a 6-word story going on up there. Not compulsory if you fancy doing it. It's kind of just 6 words, whether it's about the day, whether it's about the books, whether it's about Two Cancer, whatever you feel like sharing. And I'll put it all together into a little PDF and send it out to you so you've got that as like a souvenir of the day. We also have a tea and chocolate tasting charts if anyone's been adventurous and tried all of them. And I don't think is there anything else I need to say? Oh, if anyone wants anything signing, let me know. Limited body parts, but for the rest of it, I'm fine. So
there are some fabric pens if you'd like your tote bag signed or anything like that.
Now we're sitting on.
Because I didn't want my big face. That's crazy. So you can do it only like. Claudia, I'm sorry. The beginning was very, very like.